we're clearly so desperate for more Expanse that literally you and I have been like bouncing theoretical ideas about what they might do to continue the series after season six. We're like, what could we get? Little gifts that may come to us, past 2021.
They're leaving it open for coming back for a
Yeah.
movie. Let's say season 6 ends on a big high, and there's kind of like I feel like there's momentum behind The Expanse right now. I feel like the numbers are really gonna pick up for season 6, and if we
Yeah.
end in a really good place, we're gonna need more. And my big idea is The Expanse, the anime. We need to have it. It's gotta happen. Anime is perfectly fit for The Expanse, politics, and space battles.
From the creators of the Matrix trilogy, what is the Animatrix?
The Matrix did kind of the Animatrix spin-off thing between the first movie and the sequels. Basically, pretty much proven fact now that people love Animatrix way more than the sequels
They were
themselves.
really
It's like
good.
man, Animatrix was
Yeah.
great. And like even like Blade Runner 2049, before that released, they did a series of shorts, and one of those was an anime. This is not an unproven territory. I think it could be really intriguing as a way to move it forward.
Especially because Netflix is investing so heavily in adult animation with Castlevania. And Netflix is kind of calling a lot of animation anime,
Right.
because anime has always been able to skew towards adults, where American animation has always generally been for kids. And only in the last like 15 or so years have we gotten more adult animation. But Japan's been doing
Right.
it for decades. Super gory, sexual, crazy, deviant. It's just stuff that works perfectly in an illustrated form. Anime has what's called like Dragon Ball time, where they say
Right.
in the next 5 minutes this planet will explode, and then they fight for 10 episodes. Anime is like perfectly suited for like Holden and Marcos yelling at each other for 5 episodes while they slowly like inch towards each other, but it's like really exciting, like as they yell about their philosophies.
Damn it! It ain't fair, Tetsuo! Fight with your bare hands!
Another complaint about this last season, despite I think it being amazing, and I think most people acknowledging that there was so many good episodes inside of it, was like the action was either for budget reasons or other reasons. They definitely kind of cut around or minimized the amount of like real big action scenes, and not something that you have as many problems with if you do some kind of animated adaptation of stuff. It's like, well, great animators. It's like, yep, they're working on something. It doesn't really matter. It's not the same thing as like shooting something live action. We're doing like a big action sequence or doing a big CGI sequence. I don't know the animation world that well, but I'm pretty sure if they're working on something, they're working on something. You know what I mean? That animation is, like there's better and there's worse, but you're either making something look cool or you're not. And like, hey, you might as well do a big space battle and make it look really cool.
There's a tradition of sci-fi and space stories in anime, from
Sure.
Cowboy Bebop, which is considered kind of like one of the most classic animes of all time. Netflix is doing a live action of it right
Yes,
now.
just doing live action.
Um,
Yeah.
but you have
I mean, Akira, like, was basically science
Yeah,
fiction, like,
exactly. That's playing with science fiction genre. I mean, these are classics. You know what I mean? Like classic.
yeah,
Mobile Suit Gundam. Gundam Warriors. This is
right,
all
yeah,
mech space battle, this and that.
right,
And I just want to see Bobby in a Gundam suit.
right, in a big
Uh,
mech suit, yeah, like there is also a comic book that is currently running of Expanse stories that are kind of outside the scope of what the show does. It begs the question, like, okay, what could we do in a different medium, with some of these stories, whether it's a continuation of books 7, 8, and 9, or whether it's just stories, Expanse stories that didn't fit inside the scope of the show, still could lead to some cool possibilities. Because obviously it's cheaper to have people do voice work because they can just like bang out a whole bunch of scripts in like, a
yeah.
day. It's much quicker to do that than it is to have them be, on set for weeks at a time shooting a series, whether that's the plan or, I mean, we'll have to see. Like, I think the thing everybody's speculating is like, oh, maybe we'll get some movies, which also has its own precedent. I mean, Babylon 5 and other things have done, spin off into movies. Firefly, gave us Serenity. Like it's like, yeah, maybe they'll do that kind of, not that it's predictable. It's just like that's the standard route. But maybe we'll get some really exciting different media media.
When Game of Thrones crashed and burned, the immediate sentiment on the internet was, other than redo season 8, which is crazy, they can't do that. I'm sorry, people, that's just never going to happen.
Yeah,
The immediate sentiment was, HBO, make an animated series that follows the books. Like, so we get the
yeah,
book
yes,
version of Game of Thrones, but we get it in a visual media, and you could do it through animation because it's affordable, and you, as you said, you can dive in there. It's like it's affordable. They can get a lot of
right,
episodes, a lot of voice work out of people for a lot cheaper than if it was live action. All the adults these days all grew up with cartoons at this point, so it's just
right.
it's an easy layup. You got to give us something, a little limited series, maybe do the churn, maybe come up with your own thing, but I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect for it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, we're calling it. We're calling it. They're doing the Expanse, the animated series. Nothing but net. Calling it here. Absolutely going to happen. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe and join us so you don't miss anything out going on the channel here. Leave your comments below, and we'll see you next week.